Welcome back to the What About Mom podcast, where we go beyond surface level advice and into the real, raw, and radical work of healing, evolving, and reclaiming your identity as a woman and a mother. I'm your host, Jessica London, doctor of physical therapy, pelvic floor specialist, mom to two, and founder of Your Postpartum PT and Wellness. This show is your space for bold conversations, practical tools, and powerful reminders that when mothers heal, so does the world. So whether you're rebuilding your strength, finding your voice, or rising into the woman and mother you're becoming, you are in the right place. Let's dive in. All right, mamas, before we dive in here today, I just want to say that this episode is going to be deeply personal for me and hopefully eye-opening for you. And honestly, I hope really inspiring for you to take action in your pelvic health and your overall wellness very seriously. So just a quick recap. After my unplanned cesarean birth in 2019, which honestly was a really rocky recovery and postpartum season for me, a tough entrance into being a first-time mom, this is the experience that literally lit a fire under me to do what we do now. And if you heard the first episode, you know that to be true. But this is the time that I literally found mothers to be completely forgotten in the traditional healthcare system. Even as a doctor of physical therapy myself, even with all of my knowledge, skills, expertise, and understanding how to rehab people post-surgery, post-injury, still at this point, the lack of education and support for C-section mothers was truly what lit a fire under me. Of course, fast forward, I ended up having a VBAC at home with my second kiddo and recovered from a totally different birth experience, a vaginal birth at home. And I'll go into more of that in different episodes. But in this one, I really want to make sure that we're opening our eyes to the massive gap in the rehab center and system that really kind of shines a light into why it pushed me to leave the traditional rehab world and build something radically different, something that would finally meet women and mothers exactly where they're at and give them the care that they actually deserve, the care that I wish I had in pregnancy, to be honest with you, because we should be starting in pregnancy, but definitely in postpartum and then return to strength training as well. So that's really how Your Postpartum PT and Wellness was born. And since then, of course, we've helped hundreds and hundreds of moms, pregnant, postpartum, even moms like 10, 20 years postpartum, reclaim their bodies, their strength, and their confidence. So in today's episode, I really want to walk you through how we do just that. I'm going to be breaking down like what our virtual program is and how what we do is so different than the traditional healthcare model. I'm really also going to dive into the details of our specific 4-phase pelvic floor restore method that actually works online. I promise you, without internal exams or driving to and from appointments. At first, I was skeptical too, and so I totally understand and get if other women and mothers are too, and heck, even other pelvic floor PTs, totally get it if they're skeptical, if they relied on their hands so much and manual therapy to be able to give them and their clients results. I have totally debunked the myths that you need to be in person, and our expert coaches on our team are absolutely incredible at just doing things differently and still getting moms incredible results. So whether you are preparing for birth or navigating postpartum, or maybe even still trying to piece together your healing and rebuilding your strength months or even years postpartum later, this episode is definitely going to be for you to give you hope and healing that this is possible for you at any time that you're ready to say yes to yourself and your healing. So let's kind of break it down and talk about why the traditional healthcare system fails moms. So I don't know about you guys, but in my experience, I was given the all clear at one 10-minute 6-week checkup. I was cleared for intimacy and exercise and asked about what birth control I wanted. And that was it. And the more and more that I talk to women and mothers, this is their exact experience as well. There's no plans, there's no check-ins, there's no guidance or support for returning to movement and what that rehab protocol could look like. There's no, more exploring of what returning to intimacy looks like postpartum as well, or even just like basic 101 pelvic floor education, strength, rebuilding core function, etc. Right? So we have literally been handed as a system and as a society a clearance slip and just told to listen to your body or start slow. But what the F does that actually mean, right? Like our bodies in this time, or at least I felt this way, felt foreign and like disconnected. And what the heck just happened? And rightfully I say, like, even kind of broken, right? Like, not to mention the motherhood identity shift that was going on while my physical body was transforming. There's a lot to be spoken about for this transition and how we are seriously failing mothers in this transition and in this fourth trimester. So if you do try to figure this out on your own, you kind of are left to toss between, different YouTube videos, Instagram videos, or carrying the mental load of trying to schedule multiple appointments between your OB and your pelvic PT and kind of just like surfing the internet for information and getting a lot of outdated info from systems or blogs or videos that really aren't meant for you and your body. So, just to mention like the honestly, like the healthcare system is about 10 years behind in current research and literature. This is the healthcare model that we live in, right? So if you're going to go through the healthcare system and the insurance model, the healthcare system is completely broken. And we are patching it back together slowly, and I believe in us, but at the moment it's completely broken. And so it's a reactive model, not a proactive model. It literally prioritizes like paperwork over people, and it forces really incredible providers, healthcare providers that really got into healthcare to help people to deliver and provide subpar care. And that's why we got left behind. Like, it's not even your OB's fault, to be honest with you. It is the healthcare system's fault. It is the insurance model's fault. It is just a system issue. It's not even a people issue, right? So, personally, for me, I left the healthcare model to build something better, right? To build something for the moms and the women that wanted more than just the standard advice of just do Kegels or get some basic PT exercises where you're laying on a table or on your side without any progressing back to strength training, or at the very bare minimum, like a clearance slip at 6 weeks to just kind of hope for the best. So here at your postpartum PT, we have very high standards, and we are a women's health coaching company that supports women throughout their entire journey of motherhood. So we start with women in pregnancy, and then into postpartum, and then into return of strength training. This is actually the care and support that women really need to be able to keep their bodies strong during pregnancy, to prevent or avoid any pelvic floor core dysfunction in pregnancy, prepare for a beautiful birth experience or as best of a smooth experience as possible, because let's be real, we cannot plan birth. But we can prepare our bodies and our minds for birth to empower us, to make us understand what our bodies are capable of, to teach us how our bodies work during the birth process, and to try to eliminate as much birth injury as possible. This will also decrease birth trauma rates because a lot of it is lack of preparation. And of course, there's the outliers too, where this completely blindsides you, and sometimes birth unfolds in ways that we never expect. But if we truly educated and supported moms in pregnancy better, we can help reduce birth injuries and postpartum complications. And of course, returning to strength training is absolutely huge. So, the way that we do things here is we blend pelvic floor rehab and functional strength training. We take a very holistic approach that also includes stress management and mindset support and really simple, realistic nutrition guidance. Because if we're not addressing our nutrition, especially during this pregnancy and postpartum space, we are missing a big piece to the puzzle of making sure that our bodies are strong and healing appropriately. So, what we believe is there isn't a one size fits all approach. It is not just like, oh, yeah, everyone's going to do the same workout program, even though your body is so different than your next door neighbor Sarah's, right? Like your best friend might have had a C-section and you had two vaginal births. You might be dealing with leakage and she might be dealing with pain with intimacy. So, pelvic floor and core rehab programs that are sort of created to kind of be a catch all system, in my opinion, cookie cutter approaches really are not delivering high value care. It is important for us to be able to customize, to be able to talk to the person, to be able to have this high touch, customized, high value approach to give moms the real support that they need. So, majority of the clients that we work with one-on-one are typically in two camps. They are naturally very proactive in their care, right? They invest and they work with professionals outside the health insurance model to get one-on-one and highly tailored and customized value. They value support in their bodies holistically without having to jump around and see multiple providers at the same time. These are our mamas that are literally like also fed up with the health insurance model, so they don't even bother. They really want to work with a professional one-on-one and get a different level of support. And so they're very proactive and preventative in their care and in their support. These are our mamas that honestly join us in pregnancy, even as a first-time mom, just because they know it's what their body needs and they value outsourcing to an expert who's done this, been there, done that. It can just take away all of the mental load for them. Other camp is we have moms that have been kind of completely burned by the health insurance system. They're sort of left to figure it out on their own. They maybe have tried like YouTube videos and the cheap cookie cutter apps or IG Reels, and you just keep saving them, but you're not actually doing anything with them. Or maybe a lot of our clients have even actually been to Pelvic Floor PT in person. They've tried multiple Pelvic Floor PTs, or they've gone to a few sessions and they're just kind of left with very basic exercises and they're not progressing. So whether you're trying it on your own or you went to a professional and you're not seeing the results, this is another camp of moms that tend to work with us one-on-one and get really incredible results. And I guess to be honest, like I guess there's technically a third category too, and this is our mamas that really want comprehensive virtual support. So they don't want to leave their home, they don't want to have internal exams, or maybe you live in like a really rural area and you don't have a whole lot of support around you. Maybe you've tried in-person pelvic floor PT before, but you really struggled to make it to and from appointments, and it was just like really stressful for you to run around town and schedule childcare and had all the other concerns of feeding schedules and sleep schedules. And so you're basically like you put yourself on the back burner. And so virtual support is like actually what you're looking for to make progress. So I guess there's kind of a bonus three category, but that's majority of the mamas that work with us that tend to see really incredible results. So some of the main concerns that moms come to us too, so you might be thinking like, well, am I a good fit? Am I a good candidate? We tend to work with moms who are currently struggling with pelvic floor or core dysfunction or wanting to be proactive in preventing it. So pelvic floor dysfunction can be things like leakage with coughing, sneezing, exercise. It can be urinary urgency where you're rushing to the bathroom the minute you get the urge. Frequency can also be like going to the bathroom every 30 to 60 minutes and not really feeling like you have to go each time, but just feeling like you have to go all of the time. So we really want to keep your bladder outputs, 2 hours or more. So 2 to 4 hours is normal bladder output. So if you're going, more than that or more frequently than that, that is a sign of pelvic floor dysfunction. Another other signs of pelvic floor dysfunction are pain with intimacy, painful orgasm, inability to reach orgasm, hip pain, tailbone pain, back pain, because the pelvic floor definitely refers, right? Also pelvic heaviness, right? So symptoms of prolapse concerns. So those that really want to reduce the pelvic heaviness that they feel or feel like something's falling out or a bulging type feeling, and they're really ready to just rebuild their strength. They're number one, they want to get back to baseline and reverse their pelvic floor and core issues. And then number two, they're really looking to build their strength long term. So these issues don't come back. They can start to rebuild their strength, get back to hiking and weight training and doing all of the things that they want to do to be able to play with their kiddos and keep up with their kiddos as you age and as they age. But also likely because, activity for you is a part of your life that brings you joy and is an emotional and mental health outlet, and you just really want to rebuild your strength or see body compositions long term. So typically our clients tend to work with us like in a 6 to 12 month capacity because they're really focused on those long-term changes as well. So yes, we want to reverse the pelvic floor issues, and that's reason number one. And honestly, in that capacity, you're really great for our Pelvic Floor and Core Restore program. But number two is that you're really looking to maintain these results, rebuild your strength long term, and hey, bonus, maybe even want to work on body composition changes and really be more focused with developing a healthy relationship with strength training and nutrition and just feeling your best and most confident self as a mother. So I kind of want to dive too into like our methods and why we are a little bit different than the traditional healthcare system approach, because I think a lot of moms find confusion with this. So here's kind of how we do it and the method that's helped us help over 650 moms be able to really rebuild their strength, stop pain, like regain intimacy, their love with intimacy again with their partner, and just feel overall really strong. So we used a four-phase pelvic floor restore method. And phase one is all about mind body connection. And to be honest with you, this is a huge missed mark, not only in just everyday moms that are getting back to strength training after they had their baby, but also in the healthcare field. And no knock on my pelvic floor besties and my friends, like I freaking love you. But oftentimes in the traditional healthcare setting, we just go straight to exercises without actually forming a really strong mind body connection. So, our goal is for you to be able to close your eyes and feel somatically, spatially, energetically connected to your pelvic floor, to be able to connect to different parts of your pelvic floor, to be able to connect and contract and relax and lengthen different parts of your pelvic floor, and really intimately understand where that part in your body is, what its functions are, what the dysfunctions are, and why you might be struggling with pelvic floor dysfunction. So we tend to really focus on the nervous system here and really solving the mind body connection piece that's missing in a lot of moms' support and care. After this mind body connection is formed, typically this kind of follows neurophysiological development and is established in the first like 2 to 6 weeks, just depending on each person. We then move into tissue loading, right? So now that we are connected to our pelvic floor, now that we are connected to our body, we want to start building strength, right? So this is again like a huge missed mark in traditional rehab programs, because at 6 to 8 weeks, this is where true tissue hypertrophy starts. And this is also, if you're listening to this, you probably have like, oh, been there. This is actually when a lot of traditional rehab programs end. And this is like a huge problem, not only to mention the massive gap in pelvic health support, but the massive gap in the rehab to return to true strength training gap as well. So in tissue loading, we're starting to build safe and effective strength training principles, getting you off of your back, on your side, more in upright functional position so that your body can tolerate pressure and load transfer in everyday life movements. Traditionally, like people are not experiencing pelvic floor issues on their back. So it's like, why are we training them on their back? So it's great to be a starting place for people to find those mind body connections to start the loading phase. But truly, we need to move further into phase three. So in our phase three, this is called progressive overload. This is actually where strength really builds. This is where we are taking you just from traditional basic pelvic floor rehab exercises and core exercises to really intentionally helping you train in a functional position that mimics your everyday life and helps you then progress back to returning to run or weight training or whatever your goals are without leaks or setbacks, right? So, this part for us is what helps the long term sustainability of your tissues grow and be solid and strong for good. This is continuous strength training, you guys. And all moms need to be strength training, just not to mention all of the benefits from strength training, but specifically to the pelvic floor and the core for our pregnant and postpartum mamas. Strength training is the answer, but you don't want to just jump straight to strength training, right? If you can kind of remember, like this is our phase three, not our phase one, right? So we see a lot of moms go straight into a weight loss program or a strength training program at 2 months, 3 months, or even 6 months postpartum, and they jump straight into a strength training program. And it's like me, I'm like hitting my head on a wall. I'm like, no, moms, you guys forgot phase one and phase two. And then we have to like end up reversing them later. We're like, kind of working backwards, if you will. But if we just jump straight into a weight training program, or even if we're starting quote unquote with body weight, we're still missing the mind body connection and the more specific pelvic floor and core tissue loading phases. So in our 4 phase program, we're not only doing phase one and phase two to really work through the pelvic floor and core rehab phase, but then we're also helping you progress back to strength training so that when you do have a large sneeze or a large cough or you have to run after your kiddo, the leaks or the heaviness or the pain isn't going to come back because we're literally training your body to be able to function for that, right? Phase 4 for us is called Strong Mom Era. This is actually our level 2 program. And again, this is also where we see most programs end. So even if you do like a 12 or a 12-week or a 6-month program, like Strong Mom Era is lifelong, you guys, right? This is where we really help our moms keep going, right? Building the nutritional habits, building the stress management and day-to-day behavior and mindset habits that we need as mothers to be able to fully thrive, right? This is where we're really supporting moms to regain their full return to fitness goals, their strength goals, and helping them feel more independent and confident so that they can handle this on their own in the future. Okay. So those are our 4 phases. And I really like to break that down because I think that it's often overlooked for moms to really understand what is necessary and needed for them not only to get back their pelvic floor and core strength, but what does that look like long term? There are steps and there are phases that we have in each phase and checkpoints that we're making sure our clients are on the right track, or else we're not progressing them to that next phase because we really want to do it the right way from the beginning. Otherwise, we get our mamas like 1, 2, 3, 4 years postpartum that went straight back into strength training, and now we're working with them with leaking with weightlifting or running or pelvic heaviness concerns, which by the way, we can totally help you with that too. So, this is kind of our 4 phase method and how we do things. I know at this point, a lot of people are like, oh my God, this is so skeptical. I don't know if I believe you. So, if I were you in your shoes, I would want to be like, show me the proof. Show me the proof, right? So, I literally pulled up. I paused this and then I'm starting again. I literally pulled up some of our recent 4 and 6 and 12-week check-ins with our clients because obviously being pelvic floor therapists that left the healthcare system that are really trying to make a change, we're still very evidence-based, objective-based mindset. And so we really want to make sure we're objectively tracking and touching base with our clients throughout our programs. So, okay, I'm just going to spill a couple of them just so you know what's possible for you. A lot of times moms get stuck in this mindset or belief system like, oh, well, that works for them, but that won't work for me. And I'm just going to debunk all of that for you. So, 4 to 6 or 12-week check ins with our clients, this is what they're saying. My experience has been so great so far. I don't have to wear panty liners every day anymore. So, that's such a huge win. That's from one of our clients. This experience has been absolutely amazing. I had a lot of pelvic floor heaviness around this point when I was in postpartum with my first child, and I haven't had that yet this time around. So, love that. This is typically like where a lot of our first time mamas that work with us in pregnancy, I'm like, you're amazing. Who gave you the codes that you knew you needed to do this? But majority of the time, we end up getting moms like second, third, or fourth babies because they're like, holy smokes, now I know what it's like to not have support. Or maybe they healed okay for their first birth and their first pregnancy. And then once they became pregnant with their second or third, they're like, why am I having all these symptoms during pregnancy? I never had these with my first baby. And it's like, well, we forgot to recover. And so they end up seeing, these symptoms pop up in pregnancy or postpartum. Emily, okay, one more for you guys. I have to, maybe one or two more. Okay. She says, I have been loving this program so far. You guys are absolutely terrific. It's so easy to follow the app. Everything is laid out so clearly. And I love that the videos are right there in case I forget something. Also, the messaging and app with my coach is so clutch and really makes this experience even more personal. My pelvic health coach is awesome, so friendly and knowledgeable. I'm loving working with her. Biggest win so far is that I've made really good progress in the leakage department and feel like we have a really good plan for getting me back to the level of fitness I used to be at. And I'm glad to be working on my thumb issues too. Mommy thumb is a real thing, you guys. It's been a great experience. So that's kind of like showcase like it's a full body program, right? We're not just only working on your pelvic floor. We are ortho pelvic floor trained and also strength training coaches. So we know how to scale and work on other parts of the body as well. If like you have back pain or thumb pain or elbow pain or whatever it might be. Okay, one more for you guys. This experience has been so incredible. I've already realized the heaviness has decreased. I went grocery shopping earlier today and I'm still not in pain, which is a huge win for me. I've noticed a big decrease in leakage as well. So I'm just telling you, this is like your choice to heal at the end of the day, right? And I like to showcase our client wins and our client experiences because I think it really also shows like we've been doing this for a while. There's a lot of programs and apps out there. And the most important important thing to me is clients know that we are experts in this field. We are pelvic floor therapists and also strength training certified, nutrition certified. So we're not just like a mom who healed her pelvic floor, or we're not just, a coach who got a weekend course in training in pelvic floor, training in pregnancy postpartum, and is now like telling you they can heal their pelvic floor. We have over 20 years of pelvic floor experience, board certified women's health therapists on board, and everything like that. So I hope that gives you like a good synopsis of like what we do and how we help clients. But I also am totally here to walk you through some, potential barriers or questions that you might have from this as well. So a lot of times people ask if we take insurance, and I totally hear you. Why don't we take insurance, right? To be honest with you, because we cannot deliver this level of care inside a system that is built on denying claims, delayed support, and cutting corners, to be honest with you. And I'm not going to ask you to fight for your healing. And I don't want to fight with insurance systems. I felt so handcuffed by health insurance systems. And this doesn't allow us to be able to provide moms with expert level support and care. So there are healthcare providers out there that will see you via the insurance model. That's just not us. And I'm so transparent to say out loud, like, I want you to choose what is best for you and your body and your healing. We attract moms that don't also want to deal with the health insurance model, right? So when you invest like in our program and when you work with us in our program one on one, you're not just, paying for visit by visit sessions. It's so much more than that. It's not even comparable to pelvic floor rehab in person, right? Like I said before, like we are a women's health coaching company that specializes in working with pregnant, postpartum, and pelvic health because of our expertise and our skill set. But we're also doing stress management and mindset work for mamas and nutrition support and principles and really focusing on strength training and that long-term support and care for you. So really like when clients work with us, they're joining a program with like the end result in mind, right? Finding the end relief in mind that they're looking for, not just looking for a visit by visit session and kind of letting that string on forever. You're honestly investing in a team and coaches who like know your name by and know your goals and actually are available between sessions with you, between our video check-ins with you. We have private access and chat access to you where we want to make sure that you're staying on track and making progress and making changes on the fly to give you accountability and support and encouragement that you need, that we know moms need, right? The other benefit to going outside the insurance system, and my job is not to convince you to go outside the insurance model if you want to, that's totally fine. I'm just here sharing my experience being a provider that left the insurance system and really reflecting what our clients say are benefits to them as well. But another huge one is price transparency. So when we work with clients or those that are interested in possibly working with us, they set up having a one-on-one inquiry call with us. And then from there, we can share what our timeline is for them based off of their body, their concerns, like your goals, your concerns. And from there, we can just share what the price is going to be to work with us one on one. And everything we do is customized. So there's like no surprise bills or no insurance denials, stopping your care like mid stride. There's no random, bills that you're going to be getting months and weeks down the road. And honestly, like I like side tangent, real story. We had a woman, a mom that inquired to work with us about 4 or 5 months ago, and she decided after talking to us that she was going to try her insurance first. Totally respect that. If that's what you want to do, that's totally fine. We're here when you're ready. She went to her insurance and did find a pelvic floor PT in network. As I repeat, network. She did one 60-minute session with them and got a bill for $587 later. So I think this also like debunks the myth that insurance is cheaper. Insurance does not equal cheaper. She got a bill for $587 for one 60-minute session. So after that, she literally texted us back and was like, well, I would rather work with you guys because I'm going to get an entire month's worth of support for way more than that. And this was even after she had her baby in postpartum. So just like real life example of, what the insurance model could be like. And that's not all the cases, of course. So don't just take that and run with it. Like be an advocate for yourself, look into your insurance, know what your responsibilities are. But if you have a high deductible or you have a coinsurance plan, that likely is the case for you, sadly. The point is being like, it can feel like monopoly money when you're working through the insurance system. So if you just want clarity, peace of mind, not have to reduce, all of the back and forth, on and on and on, this can be a great option for you because we will be super transparent with you. Other reasons moms might feel a little concerned working with us is it going to really work online? I mean, I already shared the testimonies with you. We have like hundreds and hundreds of video testimonies and client testimonies, but honestly, virtual is like just as good as in person. And I'm not just saying that from my experience because I obviously we have, hundreds and hundreds of clients we work with online. And we have 3 pelvic floor therapists on board on our team that also have worked in person for thousands of clients and also work solely 100% online with me now that are seeing the exact same results. The support and care that we're giving online is way more support and care than we could ever give a client in person just because of the way that the model is set up. Right? So, working virtually versus in person, there's so much literature to support. Thank you, pandemic. But there's so much literature to support now that in person versus virtual offers relatively no changes in outcomes at the 12-week follow up and the 1 year follow up. So, if that just blows your mind, it is literally just your choice on which route feels more in alignment to you. The benefits of working virtually, of course, and especially with us, is you can train in your living room or your garage on your own schedule without having to pack your diaper bags or, sling car seats in and out of the car or rearrange nap times and feeding schedules. The other benefits are like you get 24/7 access chat to your assigned pelvic health coach and strength coach. You're getting a customized training app in your back pocket that really helps with accountability and goal setting and check-ins that gives you actual results without having to add the mental load or the stress of everything. So we really want to make sure that we're creating a program that fits into your life and into your motherhood journey versus you feeling like you have to rush around. Like that's the whole point is meet mothers where they're at. And that's my mission, right? Okay, cool. I hope this was so helpful for you guys. I really like to share the background and the backstory of like why we do what we do online here at your postpartum PT and wellness, what we're about. And I want to give you like some next steps if you are ready to take the next step in your healing and in your recovery. First of all, I just want to say thank you for being here. I thank you for listening. Thank you for caring about your body and not settling for pelvic floor and core related issues and accepting it as your normal. Solving pelvic floor issues is like bringing your body back up to baseline. Okay, mamas? And when we heal, like the rest of the world heals. Like our child's health is tied directly to our health, our mental, emotional health, our physical well being, our spiritual practices. It's incredibly important to make sure we're taking care of ourselves as mothers, as like the backbone in our family unit to function at our best every day. So, if you need a soapbox for why you should care for yourself, like that is it. Listen to that on repeat. But what we speak and see and believe as mothers will become what our children speak, see, and believe over their bodies, over, their situations, over their health. So it is our job, in my opinion, to make sure that we are really caring for the mother. And that means sometimes mothers needing to step up and advocate for themselves, use their voice, share their desires, share their interests, share their needs more. Sometimes, it's moms like really talking ourselves through understanding that we do need support and that we are worthy of the support and that we value ourselves enough to receive support. So I'm also here to like, yeah, like shout out to all the moms that are doing that. Shout out to all the moms in our community that are already working with us one on one. And even if you're not in our community, but you are taking action in your next steps in your healing for your public health, and your overall well-being, like you are doing the hard work of healing and growing and advocating for yourselves. Like you are the reason why we have this movement evolution continues to exist of mothers really caring for themselves and sending this message far and wide. We need more women and mothers speaking up about this. So you are proving every single day that when we heal mothers, we heal the world, you guys. And thank you for being a part of that. So If this episode spoke to you in any way, and if you're really ready to explore what healing could look like for you, I'd love you to take the next step with us. Well, you can book a free inquiry call at yourpostpartumpt.com/book call dash podcast. I'll also link it in the show notes for you, so it's super easy for you to follow as well. If you're not also following us on Instagram, you can find us on Instagram at your postpartum PT, and you can always like start a DM conversation with us there. I'd love to hear about your journey, your story, what you may or may not be struggling with, and offer a free inquiry call to see, yeah, can we help you? And if not, we'll point you to the right person that can. But that I'm really here for the moms that are ready to step into this healing season and know that you're not alone. You don't have to do this. And even though the system is broken, it doesn't mean that your body is broken. It doesn't mean that you have to stay in the broken system. This is your choice as a woman and as a mom to step up and to take the next action step in your healing. And this could be your strongest chapter yet. So I'll see you on the next one.